Good afternoon. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And today we have ourselves a special quality check with the Model Y. And guess what I got? A tool to measure the gap. So without further ado, let's do ourselves a quality check. So alright, we have ourselves yet another quality check with this beautiful blue Model Y with the white interior. It's just been dropped off the delivery truck, and it's another daytime quality check. I'm going to be trying to get as much daytime quality checks that we can. And a quality check is basically going to be looking throughout the panel, and we're going to measure it if it requires a measurement. And at the end, we're either going to give it a pass or a fail. So let's continue on with this quality check. And first off, we're going to start off with the left side, and we want to make sure the fender matches the hood and the hood matches the bumper, and that there's no scratches, paint discoloration, or anything that seems out of place. And I can tell you so far, so good. And this has the standard wheels that are under your hubcaps, and if you were to powder coat them, this would look phenomenal. And these are vehicles that are coming straight out of the Fremont factory. And the Fremont factory vehicles have been the vehicles with the most concern. So let's continue on. Looking at the driver's side door, this gap is nice and tight, and that's what we want to see. And here's a look at the beautiful white interior. Remember, if you're getting the white interior, get yourself some baby wipes, because it's probably going to come in handy. Strongly suggest if you have kids, go with the black interior, because you're going to be cleaning those seats all the time if you choose to get the white interior. But the white interior looks phenomenal. So let's continue on, and let's check this driver's side door. We want to check the door handle to see if it's flush, and then we want to rub one finger from this panel to this panel to see if it's flush. All right, so moving on to the rear. Now let's check the rear to see if it's flush, and it is flush. Okay, so we have a little bit of an issue, and let's check the size of this gap over here. I'm more concerned with this gap over here, but we're going to be measuring the size of the gap. And remember, Tesla considers 3 millimeters within spec. So, is this 3 millimeters? Let's find out. And let's take a look right here. So this gap right here measures at 6.8 millimeters, which is double what Tesla considers within spec. So we definitely have ourselves an issue with this Model Y. Now let's measure this over here. And this is about 5.14. Now let's measure over here. 5.27. So definitely have ourselves an issue with this left side gap, which seems to be the most common problem that Tesla seems to be facing with these vehicles. Let's check the rear, the left side to the right side. Everything looks fine from the rear. Now let's move on to the right side. Now let's check this gap over here to see the size of this right side gap over here. And yet again, we have 6.35, which is definitely not what we want to see. This side over here, I do like. And the right side gap, which is normally better than the left side, let's check the right side gap. And let's check this gap. It's about 5.35. So definitely have ourselves an issue with this Model Y. And you know, when we have an issue, especially when the gap is double the size, we definitely have to give this Model Y a fail. So let's move on. All right, so we have yet another blue Model Y, and this has the black interior. It's actually parked right beside the other Model Y that we just seen today. And let's do the exact same check. This Model Y has the upgraded wheels, which will cost you about an extra $2,000 to upgrade. But personally, what I would do is I would powder coat those standard wheels right over here, and I tell you, they look phenomenal. So let's continue on with this quality check with this blue Model Y with the black interior. Looking at the left side, nothing that we see so far. Checking the hood, the bumper, everything seems to be aligned, and I do like what I'm seeing. Taking a look at the driver's side wheels. Now checking the driver's side doors. Beautiful. And taking a look at the interior. Remember, after you've done a thorough check of the exterior, that's when you want to check the interior. Now let's check the door handles, see if it's flush. And this door is flush, and it is flush. Beautiful. And that's what we want to see. Now let's check this over here. Okay, so this gap over here is a little bit better than the other Model Y. And let's check to see the size of this gap. So it's not bad. It's 4 millimeters, a little bit, 1 millimeter above spec, but it's, to be honest with you, that's not bad. Let's check over here, this gap over here. And this right here is 3 millimeters. So that is good. Definitely an improvement from what we just seen earlier with the other blue Model Y and the white interior. So I do like this Model Y so far. Now let's continue on and let's look at this gap over here. Okay, so this gap is also 6 millimeters right here, and this is the right side where it meets the light over here, so that's not good. And over here, this gap is far better than what we've seen. So the size of this gap is about 4.6 millimeters. This door, right side rear passenger door, also seems to be a problem. It's poking out. It's doesn't sit flush, so needs a little bit of work with the door. But I do like the size of the gap. I do know the right side gap is 6 millimeters, but you know what? I'm going to be giving this a pass due to the fact that it's not. All right, so we have our final Model Y for the evening, and guess what? It's the black Model Y with the white interior, and I strongly suggest, if you decide to get the black Model Y, your first upgrade should be paint protection film. The black paint is a little bit fragile, so you will find a swirl marks and paint imperfections every time you choose to clean this vehicle. So I strongly suggest paint protection film. It's going to run you about $4,000, but it's going to preserve the vehicle. So let's continue on and looking at over here, and this is the black with the standard wheels. So there's something that's caught in my eye here, and that's this hood. This gap of this hood is just way too big. Like if you look over here, like I can fit my finger in there. Now let's check this hood measurement, and normally this is not a problem, but with this Model Y, look at it's 8 millimeters hood gap. So definitely have ourselves an issue with this Model Y. So let's continue on looking at the fender and looking at the hood, and then looking at the bumper, and it even has some writing, a wart right here. So maybe they've already know about this Model Y, and they're probably going to be fixing it, because if you look on the right side here, the gap on the right side is about 2 millimeters. And over there on the left side, it's about 8 millimeters. So we found ourselves an issue with the front of this Model Y. And let's take a look. Driver's side wheels, driver's side door. Now let's take a look at the beautiful white interior. See if it's flush, and let's see if this door is flush. Now let's see if this is flush. And let's check the size of this gap over here. So the size of this gap is a little bit above spec. It does run about 4.3 millimeters, which is 1 millimeter above spec. And let's check the size of this gap over here, which runs about 5 millimeters. So definitely have ourselves an issue with this Model Y. Yeah, definitely have ourselves an issue. So let's measure this gap over here, and let's see. I'm only going to be measuring gaps that are visually unappealing, that seem like they need to be measured. If I, like, you can almost tell when there is a good gap, and you can tell when there's a bad gap, which requires measuring. So this is 5 millimeters, and let's go over here and take a look over here, which looks pretty good. Yeah, it's about 2.9 millimeters. Let's take a look over here. And this will run you about 5.10 millimeters. So definitely have ourselves an issue with these Model Ys that are coming out of Fremont factory. So remember to do yourself a quality check. And unfortunately, this Model Y has gotten a fail. It's really unfortunate that Tesla continues to have issues with the Model Y. It seems that they're in production hell right now, and they're ramping up vehicles. So if you're taking delivery, remember to let your sales rep know of all your imperfections on your vehicle before taking delivery. All right, that's another quality check. That's all I got to say. So thank you and have a nice day.
Hey, would you like to win a Tesla Model 3? All you have to do is like, share, comment, and subscribe. And one lucky subscriber will win a Tesla Model 3.